You are sitting somewhere right now pretending you are fine. Maybe you are at work. Maybe you are scrolling your phone at midnight. Maybe you are in the gym lifting heavier than usual, thinking the iron will press the feeling out of you. And on the outside you look okay. You are functioning. You are showing up. You are doing what needs to be done. But if someone who truly knew you looked into your eyes right now, really looked, they would see it. That hollow thing sitting behind your expression. That quiet devastation you have been carrying since she left. Since it ended. Since everything you had built together got dismantled in what felt like a single conversation or a slow, painful silence that stretched over weeks until it became undeniable. And I am not here to coddle you. I am not here to tell you it will be okay in a soft voice while you nod and feel nothing change. I am here to tell you the hard truth that most people around you are too comfortable or too afraid to say, because you deserve the truth right now more than you deserve comfort. And the truth is this: you are not healing, you are hiding. And there is a massive difference between those two things, and that difference is quietly ruining you. Let me tell you what hiding looks like for a man in his late 20s or 30s after a relationship ends. It does not look dramatic. It does not look like falling apart in public. It looks like being productive. It looks like hitting the gym every single day. It looks like staying late at work, taking on more projects, filling every waking hour with something that demands your attention so that nothing else can get in. It looks like going out with friends and laughing loudly and being the one at the table who seems unbothered. It looks like downloading dating apps 2 weeks later, not because you are ready, but because the apps give you the illusion of forward motion. It looks like telling yourself, and everyone who asks, that you are good, that you saw it coming, that it was for the best, that you are already past it. That is what hiding looks like. And it is so convincing that you start to convince yourself. You start to believe your own performance. And that is precisely when the damage deepens. Because here is what is actually happening underneath all of that noise and motion and performed recovery. The grief is not going anywhere. The pain does not care how busy you are. It does not respect your schedule. It does not honor your need to appear strong. It just waits. It waits in the silence between songs when you are driving. It waits in the 5 seconds before you fall asleep. It waits in the moment you see something that reminds you of her and your body reacts before your mind can stop it. It is patient in a way you are not willing to be. And the longer you keep running, the more territory it takes inside you without you even noticing. I want you to understand something about men in your position, men between 25 and 40, who have just come out of something real. You are not a teenager heartbroken for the first time. You had something substantial. You had a life that was partly built around another person. Maybe years. Maybe shared spaces and shared plans and shared futures you had started to map out in your head even if you never said them out loud. And when that ends, the loss is not just about her. The loss is about the version of yourself that existed inside that relationship. The loss is about the future you imagined. The loss is about the ordinary moments that no longer have a place to happen. That is a layered grief. It is not simple. And treating it like it is simple, like you can just shake it off and move forward, is one of the most damaging things you can do to yourself. Now I need to say something that men do not like to hear but need to hear more than almost anything else. Avoiding your pain is not strength. It has never been strength. It is fear wearing the costume of strength. Real strength, the kind that actually changes you, the kind that makes you better on the other side of something hard, requires you to stop moving long enough to face what is actually in front of you. And what is in front of you right now is pain. Real, legitimate, earned pain. Pain that exists because you are human and you cared and something you cared about is gone. There is nothing weak about that. There is nothing to be ashamed of. The shame is not in feeling it. The shame, if there is any, is in the years you will spend being controlled by what you refuse to feel. So let me ask you a direct question. When did you last let yourself actually feel this? Not think about it intellectually. Not analyze the relationship and what went wrong and who made which mistake. Not strategize about what you will do differently next time. When did you last sit alone in a quiet room and let the feeling come without immediately reaching for your phone, or turning on the television, or texting someone, or opening something that demands your attention? When did you last let yourself be in the pain instead of constantly engineering your escape from it? For most men, the honest answer is never. Or it was one time briefly, in the first few days when the shock was too heavy to outrun. And then you caught yourself and you tightened up and you told yourself to get it together, and you have been running ever since. I want to tell you what that is costing you, and I want you to listen carefully because this is not abstract. This is your actual life. This is the life you are living right now and the one you are building whether you realize it or not. When pain does not get felt, it does not disappear, it transforms. It becomes the anger that comes out of nowhere, the irritability that has no clear cause, the edge in your voice when someone asks you a harmless question. It becomes the numbness you start to notice, the flatness that settles over things that should feel good, the way excitement stops being as bright as it used to be. It becomes the walls you put up in the next relationship before it even begins, the reasons you pull back when something starts to feel real, the way you engineer emotional distance without understanding why. It becomes the cynicism you start carrying about love and relationships and whether any of it is real or worth it. It becomes the low-grade dissatisfaction that runs underneath everything, the feeling that something is missing but you cannot name it, because you buried the thing that would tell you what it is. That is what suppressed grief actually becomes in a man's life. It does not stay as heartbreak, it mutates. And the worst part is that by the time you feel the effects, the origin is so buried that you do not connect it back to that thing you refused to feel 2 years ago, or 5 years ago, or 10 years ago. You just think this is who you are now. You think the numbness is maturity. You think the walls are wisdom. You think the cynicism is realism. But it is none of those things. It is unprocessed pain that has become your default setting, and you deserve better than that. Not because life owes you ease, but because you are capable of more than that. Because the man you are able to become on the other side of genuinely going through this, genuinely sitting in it, and processing it, and learning from it, that man is significantly different from the one who skipped the process and just performed recovery until performing became a habit. So here is what I am asking you to do, and I am not asking you to do something soft. I am asking you to do something that will take more courage than most of the hard things you have done in your life, because our entire cultural conditioning around masculinity has been specifically designed to make this one thing feel impossible. I am asking you to stop, to actually stop, to create time, real dedicated time where you sit with this. No phone, no music, no distractions, just you and what you are actually feeling. And I am asking you to let it be as bad as it actually is. Stop minimizing it. Stop telling yourself it was not that serious or you are overreacting or other people have it worse. Other people's pain does not cancel yours. It never has. Your grief is proportionate to what you lost and what you felt, and it deserves to be treated as real. Cry if you need to cry. I know that sentence alone is going to make some of you uncomfortable, and I need you to sit with that discomfort for a moment. Ask yourself why. Ask yourself why the idea of crying over a loss, over something that genuinely mattered to you, feels like a threat to your identity. Because that discomfort is the exact thing that is keeping you stuck. The resistance to that release is the thing holding the pain inside you. Crying is not collapse. Crying is a biological release mechanism. It is your body processing what your mind wants to avoid. It is not weakness. It is function. Let it function. Write it down if that helps. Not a diary in the way you are imagining, not something formal or precious. Just pages. Just the unfiltered truth of what you are feeling written out in whatever messy order it comes in. There is something about translating internal pain into external words that begins to give it structure, and structure is the beginning of understanding, and understanding is the beginning of moving through something rather than just around it. Talk to someone you actually trust, not to perform your pain for them, not to get reassurance that you are handling it well, but to actually say the true things, the things you have not said because they would make you seem too affected, too hurt, too much. Find one person, just one, and say the true thing. That act alone, the act of making your internal reality real to another person, is part of what breaks the isolation that grief creates. And while you are doing all of this, I want you to pay attention, because pain that is genuinely felt is also information. It is telling you something. It is showing you what you value, what you are afraid of, what patterns you have been carrying, what you need to work on, what you are looking for, what you cannot compromise on anymore. The lesson that your competitor script talked about, the idea that the lesson enters when you stop lying to yourself, that is true. But I want to go further. The lesson is specific. The lesson is personal. And you can only access it by actually going through the feeling, not by thinking about the feeling, not by analyzing the relationship from a safe intellectual distance, but by actually sitting in the emotional reality of it and being honest about what you find there. Because when you do that, when you genuinely go through it instead of around it, you come out different. Not just healed, different. You come out knowing yourself in a way you did not before. You come out with a clarity about what you actually want from a relationship and what you are not willing to settle for anymore. You come out with a compassion for yourself that is real, not performed. Not a self-help talking point, but an actual felt sense of having been through something real and having survived it honestly. And that man, the one who went through it honestly, is not the same man who went into the relationship. He is not even the same man who ended it. He is something newer and more solid and more ready, not for another distraction, but for an actual life. That is what genuine healing produces. Not just the absence of pain, but the presence of something built on the other side of it. Self-knowledge, clarity, a relationship with your own emotional reality that is no longer your enemy. The ability to sit with uncomfortable feelings without immediately running, which means that the next time life gets hard, and life will get hard again, you are not starting from scratch. You have already done the thing you thought you could not do. You already prove to yourself that you can feel the worst of it and not be destroyed by it. That is a resource that does not go away. That stays with you. So I want to leave you with this because I need this to land. You are a man in his prime. You are between 25 and 40 years old. You have time. You have capacity. You have more life ahead of you than behind you. And the decisions you make right now about how to handle this loss will echo forward into everything. Into the next relationship. Into the kind of father you become if you are not one already. Into the friendships you hold or push away. Into the way you relate to your own emotions for the rest of your life. This is not a small moment. This is a defining one, and you get to decide what it defines you as. You can be the man who got hurt and buried it and carried it forward without knowing it. The man who performs strength until the performance becomes a prison. The man who never quite got over it because he never quite let himself go through it. That is one option. It is the easy option in the short term. It is the option most men take without even realizing they are taking it. Or you can be the man who stopped, who sat down with the hardest thing and did not look away, who let himself feel the full weight of something real, who came out of that process knowing more about himself than he ever would have otherwise, who healed not in the way that looks good from the outside, but in the way that actually changes something on the inside. That is available to you. It is not comfortable, it is not quick, but it is real. And real is the only kind of healing that actually holds. Stop pretending you are fine when you are not. Stop performing strength you do not currently feel. Stop running from the thing that is not going to stop waiting for you. Go inside, face it, feel it, learn from it, and come out of it as someone who went through something real and let it make him real in return. That is not weakness. That is the hardest and most important work of your life, and you are capable of it. Start now.